E3. Internet, what's good? It's E3 time. Once again, I am your host, Attack Slug. Welcome back to my second channel. Long awaited. I kind of got lazy with the second channel, and it's video game time. And if there's one thing I love to do, it's to talk video games. But in previous years, I've done a bunch of E3 coverage that kind of nobody watched or really cared about. I put a bunch of work into it, and it was just too much. So this year, I'm going to be a little bit more relaxed with my E3 coverage. So instead of having a video for each separate press conference this year, it's going to be split into days. And because these companies keep putting E3 earlier and earlier, we have 4 different days. Now, there's only one press conference today for day 1, and that is EA. But in addition to covering what I care about at the press conferences, not everything, but what I care about, also some, news, rumors, leaks that hit before and perhaps after and all that kind of stuff. So before EA kicks off with their usual cavalcade of sports, Star Wars, there are a few things from this morning that I had seen in my news feed. There is a Capcom trademark for Monster Hunter World. Now, whether or not that will be a new Monster Hunter thing, or if Capcom is truly insane enough to bring over that 2013 MMO made by Tencent, that remains to be seen. My understanding is that MMO is not very good, so they probably shouldn't do that. But hey, we'll see. All those Assassin's Creed Origins rumors seem to be true. It had a Game Informer cover thing and unveiling, and I guess it's out there now. And we'll get a lot more of that from the Ubisoft conference on Monday, I think is Ubisoft? Yeah. Today is EA. Tomorrow is Microsoft and Bethesda at fucking midnight Eastern Standard Time. Monday is Ubisoft and Sony, and then Tuesday is Nintendo's supposedly 30-minute press bit of bullshit directly to you. Now, personally, I got burned out from both Assassin's Creed and open world games somewhere around 3, so I skipped the last couple of them. And to their credit, they did take a break for a year. There was no Assassin's Creed last year. So maybe I'll give Origins, this is going to be based in ancient Egypt, a chance. It's been a number of years since 3, so maybe I'll put that in my GameFly and give it a shot. And speaking of leaks, there was another one this morning that should have happened on Monday, according to the press release deal, and that is a 2.5D Dragon Ball Z fighting game from Arc System Works, the guys who make Blaze Blue and Guilty Gear. It is a 3-on-3 fighting game, and I would imagine it is built in Unreal Engine, much like that last Guilty Gear bit of business. Now, I haven't been into fighting games in any real way in a number of years, and I definitely have not been into Dragon Ball games, which have been largely 3D in an even larger number of years. But Arc System Works does good stuff. I enjoyed those Persona 4 fighting games quite a bit. And these days, I'm willing to give just about anything a shot. And the final bit of business before I transition into the EA press conference is that starting tomorrow, and I'm sure we'll hear more about this tomorrow at the Microsoft deal, is $50 off in Xbox One S. And considering tomorrow should be the big Scorpio blowout, I don't know why you would buy an Xbox One S now. Like, I still have my big giant fucking Xbox, that's kind of whatever, right? But if you're in the market for an Xbox, and right now it's June, and the Scorpio is out in supposedly October, we'll obviously have a real date tomorrow, why would you get a cheaper S model? I don't really, unless you don't care about better graphics and you just want the cheapest Xbox possible, wait for a Scorpio. Anyway, that's all I've got right here, so let's jump cut to after this EA press conference bit of business. And we are back. Just finished watching the EA Play. It's E3, but not really E3, because we aren't actually on the show floor type bullshit. And they showed some stuff, but for the most part, it was like, okay, most of these games we already know about, and for me personally, a lot of them I just don't care about. They had their sports stuff. The Madden stuff's going to have a story mode this year. I don't play Madden. I don't care. NBA Live, again, they took like 2 years off to get that thing right. Hopefully it's not 100% broken and actually makes it to market this time. There were a lot of influencers, YouTube personalities, etc., just all over this press deal. And I guess that's just the way this industry is going, I suppose. They talked up some Battlefield 1 expansion type deal, so once again you separate the, your user base with, hey, here's some more paid maps, like 6 maps or 8 maps or something like that. Now, the Need for Speed stuff, I am actually interested in because, man, that Need for Speed stuff, those takedowns looked awfully close to a little game I like called Burnout, which, is no longer a thing these days, and it's kind of just on ice, along with Dead Space and a lot of other EA franchises. But no, that Need for Speed Payback, what they showed looked pretty fucking cool. And as someone who does YouTube here every day, I've kind of felt bad for the YouTube guy they had presenting that just totally blanked out and forgot his lines, and it's like, guess what, YouTube guy? You're live. You're in front of a camera, you're live, there's no jump cuts there. You can't just edit out the part where you screw up. So maybe hire some guys who actually know how to present in a live format and not random YouTube guys who can only do jump cuts, like me. So the coolest thing they did show at this EA Play deal was a new EA Originals from the people who brought you the game Brothers, A Tale of Two Sons, which I thought was pretty damn good. They have a new game. It is a co-op break out of prison, split screen only game called A Way Out. Now, it is going to have online, but they're emphasizing on being on the same couch, playing this game in split screen. That just everything they showed looked awesome. I didn't see any real, like, hey, here's a release date, because last year they showed an EA original called Fee, which was not at this conference at all, and I'm wondering if Fee is still coming out this year or what the deal is. We got the briefest of glimpses at the new BioWare property called Anthem. And I'm like, well, I hope they're a better Anthem than the Anthem that owns Impact Wrestling. Anyway, Anthem will have more tomorrow on the Microsoft stage. You would imagine that would be a big Scorpio. Say, hey, here's how fucking cool this game looks on Scorpio. Please buy a Scorpio. We've been losing for 4 years to the PS4. Please buy a Scorpio. There will be a free pass to EA Access and Origin Pass, whatever the fuck that's called, on consoles and PC all week. As someone who is really busy, I'm not going to have time to actually play any of those games, but if you're just sitting at home and you want free games to play for the week, that's a pretty cool thing to do for EA. Provided you actually like the games that EA has on their EA Origin Access Pass thing. Now we got 30 minutes of Star Wars, right? And it was generally just Battlefront 2. So we didn't see that new game from Visceral. We didn't see whatever the hell Respawn's working on. We didn't see really anything but a smidgen of whatever the single player mode is. Much as but hey, these tweets from everybody wanted single player because you sold us a half a fucking game last time. They were like, yeah, story mode. And then proceeded to show like 20 minutes of multiplayer. Which, to be fair, looked cool. You didn't need that much of it. Holy shit. And they kept going back to the same guy, just flying around in his ship, flying around in space, which was really funny. But, man, that was just way too much. Like, you don't need to show an entire round being shoutcasted live or whatever the fuck was going on there. It just was, like, it felt like they didn't have enough other stuff to show at this show. And it's just like, pad it out, more Star Wars. So, I'll play that. And I'm sure it'll be good because I did enjoy the multiplayer from the first Battlefront. I'm sorry, the third Battlefront, which is actually the reboot of Battlefront. There were other Battlefront games. Stop denying their existence. There is literally another game called Battlefront 2. But I will give them credit on saying, hey, all of our post-launch, or a section of our post-launch, some manner of post-launch DLC, from what they've said, for all users will be free. And that keeps your user base in one, spot instead of saying, hey, pay for these maps, and guess what? Now we're going to separate our user base, going to fragment our audience. Don't do that. But, like, if you're just trying to sell the game and not trying to sell a season pass, that sounds like a thing that sounds very un-EA. But hey, benefit of the doubt and all that. But the one takeaway that I will end this thing on here is that it's very telling. We had like an hour and a half there of EA. An hour and a half of, hey, we kind of got some sports. We got Need for Speed. We got Star Wars. We got this new EA Originals. But there was one noticeable exclusion from this hour and a half. And that was nothing. 0 things for the Nintendo Switch. So we know they have a FIFA something coming to Switch, but it seems like an old engine FIFA, or I'm not super big on the sports stuff, so I'm not 100% clear, but I would imagine it is not the same FIFA that's going to be on, FIFA 18. It's like FIFA Legacy Edition or whatever the fuck they do, right? So, but nothing else. No, say, here's an original Switch game, or here's, some support of a game we're already putting on PS3 and 360 still, because they always do that, also on Switch. Nothing. I have to imagine that maybe the success of the Switch caught them off guard, perhaps got a little bit burned on that unprecedented Wii U partnership, but just give me a token Switch announcement for anything. Come on. Not even gameplay. Just give me a logo. Just feed me something. I bought this damn thing. Give me something, EA. Come on. But to be fair, this was the EA Play deal. Maybe, just maybe, they'll have something at the Nintendo Direct deal on Tuesday. Who knows? Anyway, that will most likely wrap things up for today. It's like 4:45 here right now on the East Coast. I'm going to wait until about 7 or 8 p.m., and if there's no other leaks or news or anything crazy, then I will edit this video and put it up on my second channel where you're watching it right now. So I'm Attack Slug. Day 2, which is tomorrow, that video won't go up until day 3 because Bethesda decided in their infinite wisdom, because hey, Microsoft now is on Sunday, right? And they're at 5 p.m., which is like 8 p.m. here, Eastern. So Bethesda got shifted back to 9 p.m. Pacific, which is midnight on the East Coast. So I'm going to stay up and watch that shit at midnight. But there is no way I'm recording footage of me talking about it that late in the evening. I'm old. I'm going to bed. And there's also some kind of a weird Devolver Digital thing at like 1 in the morning, which I will watch on Monday morning. So, day 2 video on Monday, day 3 video on Monday, and then day 4 video on Tuesday afternoon at some point. So, there you go. I'm Attack Slug. Look forward to that. See you next time, right here on this channel, and I'm out.